Welcome to this week's Dream Car judging video here at BOTB. We'd now like to hand over to today's lawyer from Onside Law who'll oversee the proceedings.
My name's Lily Elliott from Onside Law and I'll be overseeing the judging this morning. Firstly, I confirm that the competition data has already been sent to the auditing company Azets. I would now like today's judges to introduce themselves and using the secure link provided, mark on the screen where they think the centre of the ball should be. The group will then come to a final panel decision.
Good morning, my name is Matt Cannon. I'm a senior county referee and footballer.
Hi, I'm Jenna Scalacci, retired professional footballer. I'm now operations manager at Tottenham Hotspur Academy.
My name's Liam Walsh. I'm a retired referee, currently an FA observer and head coach for the Middlesex Referees Academy.
Hello, my name's Wendy Martin. I previously played for Tottenham Hotspur Ladies and currently play beach soccer for England and Great Britain.
Hi, I'm Joe Thompson, ex-professional footballer and now your BBC Squad Goals radio presenter.
Hi, my name is Ari Mendonca. I've been involved in football for over 30 years, firstly as a player and then as a referee.
My name's Peter Giorgio and I am a futsal and football referee.
Good morning, my name is Leo Donnellan. I'm an ex-professional football player, having been with Chelsea, Fulham and Leyton Orient.
Judges, please now come to the final panel decision. For your reference, the larger white cross is the calculated average of the 8 individual selections.
Thank you very much, Lily. Good morning, everybody. Before I draw some lines, I'm going to come to you, Jenna, this morning. If you could explain what you're seeing in the photograph, please, where the ball's coming in from and how you reached your decision. And yours is the green cross there that's magnified.
Yeah, so 2 players in shot. I've got 4 good eyes there. For me, I feel the ball's dropping in front of the players coming in from the left to right. I think it's a little way out in front of both of the players. For me, I feel like the player with the black sleeves is probably favourite. He's a little in front of the player in blue. Player in blue looks like he's in motion, just trying to affect the player in black who potentially may be bringing it down. For me, I came to my cross. I took a lot from the player in black's eyes. I couldn't see too much white at the bottom of them. And for me, I felt his head was slightly tilted to the left as we're looking at him. I got my height from the player in blue. I felt his head was, although there was no whites and it looks like he's looking across, I felt that his head was tilted back slightly. So I got my height from the player in blue. And then I took my line up from the player in black.
Yeah, thank you very much. So we'll draw some lines up. We've got quite a tight band up from the player with, I call him with black sleeves. Liam's a little bit to the right there. And this player here. From the player in blue, we've got sort of the biggest spread. So, Liam, I'll come to you next. You're the yellow cross there. You're a little bit to the right, looking up from the player with black sleeves. What did you see?
Yes, thanks. Good morning. Good morning, Matt.
Morning.
I just, again, Jenna summed it up really, really well, actually. You know, we've got 2 guys in shot. We've got four good eyes on the looking through the centre of the ball. I felt that the ball's dropping in, yes, to the guy in the black sleeves. And I felt just his body language there. I think he's just going to move across. He feels the presence of the guy in blue and he's going to shift him out of it. He's allowing for that and maybe chest it or turn onto the ball, something like that. But again, his 2 clear eyes. Look, his head slightly turned, head tilted. And, you know, looking slightly to his right as we look. From the guy in blue, I found his facial expression interesting this morning. we've often said before, eyes looking in different directions. And for me, I think this is quite apparent. I feel that eye actually that you're on there, his right eye, I feel his right eye is looking at his opponent because I think it's quite flat. But I think you get the height. I've got the height from his left eye, which, with the fact that his eyes are raised, the brows furrowed, and that's what's given me the height. And for me, that's where they've intersected.
Okay, and I think I will redraw his eyes because I've got them really the wrong way around, I think. No, I've done it again. Just so the lines don't cross. Okay. Up at the top there is yours, Leo, the pink cross that's magnified there. Did you agree with that?
Yes, Matt. Yeah, no, I think both judges are pretty spot on. I went a little bit higher, Matt, because for me, the player in black, he just looks so relaxed. He's not tense at all. So I just think there was a little bit of height on the ball. So that's why I went a little bit higher. I think he's favourite to get to the ball. And I went slightly to his right because of the tilt of his head. I think the player in blue, I just think he's a little bit late getting there and he's adjusting his position and he's on the move to try and influence the play. But I don't think he's going to get there. So, and I took the direction also, obviously, with the player in blue, his eye line. So, that's how I did it.
Thank you. And the other side from what I'd describe as the main cluster is yours, Joe. You're a bit closer to the player in black. What did you see?
Yeah, good morning, Matt. Very similar to the judges in a lot of ways. I do feel like the player in black and white is in control, like Jenna mentioned. I do think he's going to try and chest it down, like Liam mentioned. I think the player in blue and white is probably a little bit late to the actual event, and he's trying to almost peer around the corner and maybe potentially nick it off the player in black and white. But I took a lineup from the player in black and white's eyes, and then I cross-reference with the particularly the right eye as the player in blue and white's right eye, and that's where I chose my cross. And I think he's in control. He's going to try and bring it down, and that's why I went slightly lower because I think the ball's quite imminent with his eyebrows in particular.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll come into the sort of the middle, the main cluster. You're next, Harry. There's the purple cross. How did you reach your decision?
Thanks, Matt. Well, similar as my colleagues, I felt that the same ball. The ball is dropping from left to right. Is dropping on to player in black and white stripes. I feel he's as well about to control the ball with chest probably. I felt the player in blue is trying to get around him. I felt that his left arm is trying to kind of grab the shirt of the player in black and white stripes. He's trying to get around him. Obviously, he's already late for the challenge. When I cross-reference, I felt that the ball is the center of the ball should be where I put my cross.
Thank you. And just above your choice, Ari, is Wendy's. There's your blue cross there, magnified. Wendy, do you agree with Ari?
Yeah, I agree with, I think, the majority of the judges. The player in the black and white, for me, is favourite to win the ball. I think he's just going to bring the ball down, maybe sort of pushing it onto the chest. I think he's sort of moving his body trying to sort of get just in front of the player in blue. Maybe he's aware there's a little bit of pressure coming, so just trying to get across the front of the player. I think 4 sort of clear eye lines today. I took the height from the player in the blue at the ball, and the player in the black and white head is slightly tilted as well, just ever so slightly to the right. So that gave sort of the line of the ball there.
Great, thank you. And across on the other side from the calculated average as we see it here, Peter, yours the light blue cross. What did you see?
Yes, agree with the panel so far. The player in black and white, I believe he's creating space for what he's for the dropping ball, which is in front of both of those players. Again, maybe possibly backing back and coming across to the player to prevent the player in blue, who probably will end up going through the back of the black and white player to get to the ball. I'm furthest over to, as you look at the picture, to the left. I just believe that the tilt of the black and white player's head, and also not only that, his eyes are also a bit more further pointing, I believe. Therefore, I cross-reference with the two sets of good eyes, and again using the blue player like everybody else has used for the height of the ball.
Yeah, and that leaves my own, which is the red cross there. I agree. I think you said it perfectly well for me, Peter, that he's creating space, the player in black, and he's quite relaxed, and the player in blue is just sort of trying to get round the side of him. He sort of looks like he's in motion and looking across to the ball and might sort of nudge him out the way. But I do agree with the rest of the judges that the ball's dropping in, and the player in black sleeves and a stripy top is going to kind of control it. So we have this calculated average here, and if I hover over the top of it, we have ever so slightly a small part of Joe and Leo's popping out. And then we also have to the right, really, I would describe it as on his own, Liam's. So I'd like to come to a panel vote to see whether, if we remove Liam's, it comes a little bit more central, certainly from the player in black. And if I put the magnifier over, again, we just have ever so slightly Leo and Joe's sort of mirroring each other as my description of that. But I will come to a panel vote. So we have, and this is to see whether we keep Liam's in. And then also, if you could also, at the end of whether you say you agree with this calculated average with Liam's in, and then if you'd like to see anything else changed as well. So I'll come to you first, Jenna.
I would say remove Liam's, just because it brings the cluster a little bit tighter and closer to where my spot is.
Yeah, okay. Wendy?
Yeah, I think I'd remove Liam's as well, just because it does make it just that tiny bit tighter with all the rest of the judges.
Yeah. Joe?
Could I have a little look at Leo's being removed? I just think it might be a little bit too high, please. Yeah, and if we hover, I'd prefer that personally. I think Liam's is quite a credible position, particularly as height-wise in relation to mine. But yeah, that's my view.
Okay, thank you, Ari.
Funny enough, I would go with the suggestion of Joe as well. If we have to remove, I think the Leo one is slightly too high, but I would be happy to have everyone in, because to be fair, if you just put back the zoom on the center just to check, even if or the top one, or leave everyone in, because he's still in for me.
Yeah. Okay, Peter.
With the choice that you gave us, Matt, I'd have Liam's removed. Again, it was alluded to earlier that it's a much more narrow corridor for the cluster of the other crosses, so I'd have Liam's removed.
Okay. And Leo?
Yeah, I would remove Liam. Excuse me. Yeah, I just think that the average moves up slightly higher, which I think is better.
Okay, so as a panel decision, we decided to move the calculated average by removing Liam's choice. And I know both Joe and Ari were talking about Liam's being removed. And I think if you did remove Leo's, you'd also have to remove Joe's, because they're mirror imaged. If I redraw the lines up, We got, a very narrow band up from the player in black and white. And again, we've still got this slightly wider view up from the player in blue. If I was to remove Leo's and Joe's, the calculated average doesn't really shift that much. And as I said, the most of their, if not all, ever so slightly one of the top and bottom, and so I would say mirror that. But if I can come through with you all again and see what you think about that, I will come to you as well, Liam. I know the panel's removed your particular decision, but it's about whether we leave this or remove others. So Jenna,
I'd keep them both in. I think they balance each other out.
Yeah. Liam,
stick.
Yeah. Wendy.
I do agree with Joe that maybe Leo's is just a little bit higher for sort of where I think the boys, but they do balance each other out. So I'll leave it as it is.
Yeah. Joe?
Yeah, I'm happy with the average.
Yeah. Harry?
They balance each other, so I'll leave it on.
Yeah. Peter?
As is.
And Leo?
Yeah, no, the average is very good in that position.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So, Lily, after a good panel discussion and the panel deciding to remove Liam's to basically get it up in a tighter view of sight from the player in black, we're going to judge at this calculated average with the 7 remaining judges.
Thank you. If you're happy, please submit. Thank you, judges. The coordinates select are X16662Y986. These coordinates now pass the auditing company. That's to start winning a competition, and they'll then inform the BOTB. That concludes the other process. Thank you.